So previously we were speaking, and I told you I had a particular thought, a download that was coming in while I was perplexing the seed understanding, and it was interesting because it just opened up a whole like box towards the existence and you know whether people are going to catch on to it now or in 10 years, but you're going to see that the rocks you walk on are actually calcified body parts. The ground, the dust, everything is the water is actually body fluids. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be mind blowing to people, and subsequently, this is what happens when you access the next level of a certain universal energy. You get large, you get really big. It's because you're obtaining what you need to be universal, to be more elemental. You're gonna get big in these aspects, and subsequently the body is going to merge into everything. Everything is everything. So to be everything is a notion. People are like, yeah, you don't have to do it. You don't even understand what you're saying when you say it's like this. To speak just to certain things is arrogant. You know what I'm saying? Just say just it's singled out, and it's very arrogant to the divine, knowing that the divine created everything. Even though it's levels to the creation, these levels are there for a particular reason. And they're there for the reason of combination, to find the aspects of love that you would never find in your normal self. How would you create everything unless you knew everything? How would you experience everything unless you grow through everything? You have to grow through everything. This knowledge is not particular to no human being because you are just here and you're basically growing through air and light right now. You're growing through air and light and whatever else you can pick up. And it's subsequently making your body what it is, the flesh that it is. What if you are growing through the other minerals? They're around you right now, but you're not growing through them. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about what I'm saying. Like certain plants, they go through rocks. They actually break them down and make food out of them. If you don't know this, you need to go walk in nature. You know what I'm saying? There's certain rocks you'll see crumbled up to like it'll turn to crumbles because plants has broken it down. It's broken it down and took the minerals out of it. The same with different insects and stuff like that. Like it just depends on where you at and what you're looking at, and to understand this value, this incremental value, and where you sit the placement at in this whole makeup of things. Or are we just devouring and devouring, thinking that's the way to go? You don't even understand how to grow through things. It's not about eating everything. You have to have a connection to certain things first. You'll notice how you go to certain areas and people eat different food and you're not really familiar with that, but you try it. But then the first thing you say is, I want the food where I come from. You get homesick, right? You know what I'm saying? On certain things real fast. That's because that's not your spiritual journey yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm serious. It's not your walk yet. That has nothing to do with you. This is why we're not supposed to pass judgment. That's why you're not supposed to pass judgment. People are having their own spiritual walk around their whole existence. And that may entail a whole bunch of things that has nothing to do with you at that previous moment. But if they keep pushing you into different situations, you know what you're going to do? You're going to miss your own growth. You got to understand, divine seeds, what this is and what this means. You are the highest representation of what everything's supposed to be. But if you don't know what you're supposed to be, you're only going to follow what somebody tells you you're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? That's like missing the shot. You know what I'm saying? Just understand. I can't sit here and say that the contrastal value to the stories that they say couldn't be this. It's contrast. They say it was evil giants running. I'm not saying these giants didn't exist. I'm not saying it's not giants now. I'm saying it's contrast. I know right now that the world is effed up. It's easier to do something wrong right now than to make something better happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, just think about it down to the minute level. People will complain about the worst. You know what I'm saying? Like, the smallest things, just to have a conversation. But as soon as life go left for them, the whole world got to stop. This is the energy that's propagated. We don't show enough unconditional love. And I say this, if y'all been walking with me through my other pages, you know I say this all the time. Unconditional love multiplies. Unconditional love multiplies, man, and that's a fact. So if you're not walking that way, you know what happens when things gonna happen to you. You're gonna feel like the world is coming down on you. Nah, you know what I'm saying? Because you haven't been giving out the energy of the universe. When you're in that flow of things, you know it comes through you. You're just a passageway for it. Just like the earth is a passageway for life. Just like your body is a passageway for fluid. It's just a passageway. And understanding that you're the seed, gaining this energy through this passageway to grow larger. Imagine a catfish sitting in a hole just eating. Just eating. Just sitting there in the whole body sitting in a big mud hole, and you're just eating as the water comes through, just eating. Eating everything. Body getting big. By the time you find him, be like 9 feet, size of a truck. The retrospect speaks to different things, but it's all the same. And what happens is, if you pull away from the universal understanding of the simplicity of divine energy, you start to try to idealize it yourself instead of looking at what takes place around you. I'm standing in between two processes that's similar, from the universe to the smallest minute things. I'm in between these things. I can look at the universe and start to comprehend the connection of how this flow is taking place down to when it comes to me. And I can look at myself and start watching ants rotate. It get crazy. And we don't even put the two and two together while you standing in the middle of this process. You thinking that you looking at something that's spinning in the universe, and you thinking you looking on the earth and you seeing the ants spin in the same, but you looking at and you in the middle and you don't think you're doing the exact same thing because you're not moving. You're in your own time and space. See how oblivious you are? You're not moving. So you're looking at one and you're looking down and you think, oh, wow, look at these two things. No, they're showing you what you're doing right now. They don't see themselves doing that neither. Ask yourself this. If I'm in a crowd of people and we all walking in a circle together, do I see the aerial view of me, or do I just see people in a crowd with me? Don't let this go over your head, yo. You know what I'm saying? Don't let it go over your head. They watching the energy spin in you and go all the way down, as above, so below. And if it's an hourglass, it's the same as above, so below. So as the hourglass leaks out, what happens in the middle? It flushes through the middle part. It goes through, and it comes out. It filters out through the bottom. So we should sit still and meditate and gain all that universal energy that's coming through, all that happening. And then when they flip the bottle over, you gain it coming back through until you get big enough to break time and space and create another one. I ain't gonna hold you. Naga.